Hello everybody, Zip here. Today we're going to be talking about commanders. I know it's been a little while since I've done a video. Got a lot going on in the real world, real life for me right now. But I'm here because this is an important part of the game. It's really a game changer. It adds a lot of depth to our game, and there's a lot to go over here. So bear with me. I'm going to try to give you a crash course on commanders, including what they do, how to get them, how many you should have, and how to specialize them for different types of ships. First off, to get a commander, you go to the shop. In the crate section of the shop, you can get one free commander every couple of days. Doesn't cost you anything. You just click on the recruit commander button and you'll get it. After you've done that, you can still recruit more commanders by paying gold. It's 200 gold to recruit a commander, or to get a bonus for a commander you already have. It's kind of a random drop right now. It's not cool in my opinion. I'll get into that a little bit more, but for right now, let's just get a new commander. So Ichiro Matsumoto. So he's going to be my destroyer commander for my Japanese destroyer line. To upgrade your commanders, you're going to want to hit the commander skill button. You can see the green arrow there. And you're going to have to choose carefully. It's going to cost you gold to reset these. So you want to make sure you get the right specialization for what you intend to use the commander for. So here, the repair times reduction or the torpedo damage reduction, in my mind, for a destroyer make a lot of sense, because your steering and power gear often get damaged by torpedoes, or you can get just general damage from torpedoes because you often face against cruisers and destroyers which have torpedoes. Getting the aircraft skill doesn't mean anything because you don't have any aircraft. So really, you have to make sure you choose right, or it's going to cost you gold to fix it. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is per nation you have that you're running up the tech tree or have premium ships, whatever, per nation have one commander per class of vessel. So have one commander for your destroyers, one commander for your cruisers, carriers, and battleships. The advantage being you can specialize your commanders for the class of vessel, because putting a lot of carrier upgrades onto a commander of a battleship doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Once a commander has trained in a tech tree ship and mastered that ship, you can move him over to another tech tree ship and he should retain. I say should because I haven't tried it yet. I've been so busy at work and home that I haven't been able to try this, but you should be able to move him back again to the previously mastered ship and not have to pay the retraining penalty. Now, if you're moving him to a new ship that he hasn't been on before, then that commander is going to have to retrain for that ship. So you'll only have half your skills available while you're retraining for the new ship in the tech tree. Now, the cool thing is, if you have premium ships from that nation, you can move your commanders onto the premium ships and you pay no penalties with respect to retraining. So that means you can move your commanders around and get them extra training and promote them much quicker, which is why it's an advantage to have fewer commanders, because the 12 levels of commander skill require a staggering amount of experience to achieve. So doing one commander at a time per class of vessel per nation gives you the best chance of being productive, as well as getting commanders upgraded sooner. Now let's move on to the next skill, level 2. So level 2 has again 3 choices: torpedo alert, battlefield repair, and armament repair. I really like the torpedo alert. As a destroyer captain, you'll probably be facing torpedoes on the front line, so seeing them a little bit sooner I think makes the most sense. 15% detection range of enemy torpedoes is a pretty good bonus. Certainly if I had sonar or air defense alert on a destroyer, I might consider it, but on a Japanese destroyer it's not really there, so no contest there. Repairs are always useful, but I really think that for a destroyer the torpedo alert makes the most sense. So I'm using my free experience here to upgrade levels a little bit quicker, and you can also convert elite experience for gold to free experience to do this faster as well, although it gets expensive pretty fast. So here we've got the acceleration at the beginning of the battle, which I think is also very important for destroyers. Certainly the gun artillery maintenance expert, gun accuracy would be great on a cruiser or battleship, but I think the destroyer is definitely much better off with the acceleration. Battleships might be better with the damage control or the guns. Again, notice the gold for retraining and the experience levels required for retraining. A level of skill is very high. It starts ramping up as you go higher, so make sure you get your skills correct, because once you have to retrain a commander because you made a mistake, it's going to cost you quite a bit of gold. So here, moving on, I'm kind of road mapping what I want to do. Air defense expert, well, Japanese destroyers don't have a lot of air defense. The Kraken metal boost is kind of interesting, but Victorious Charge, I think you would use that much more often. So I do believe that is the smarter play between all these options. If you had a ship that had a really strong anti-aircraft suite, then of course the anti-aircraft is a viable option. But on a Japanese destroyer, Victorious Charge, get a little bit more of your hit points back, which you're typically running low on hit points by the end of battle, is definitely the better way to go. Now I've run out of free experience, so I'm going to convert a bit of with my remaining gold, my elite experience that I've earned on my premiums and tech tree ships, and I'm going to convert that experience in order to further upgrade my captain, mostly just to show you how it's done. In practice, I'm planning on basically just earning the experience. I play often enough and enough battles per day, as you can see from my totals that I had up there on screen for a brief moment, that earning experience in my ships is not going to be a problem, and I'm a patient guy. I don't have to have my commander upgraded all the way right away. I prefer the experience, as long as it doesn't get too bad at the higher end in terms of the experience requirements. We shall see. I've yet to go past 5, so 5 is the maximum I've gone to so far. Now looking at 5, we've got Survivalist, which is pretty important. 15% recovered using repair kits is pretty huge. Fire Supremacy, again, if you have those skills, it'd be useful. And then the Daredevil would be useful for a destroyer, but that's presupposing that you've lost most of your hit points, most matches, to make full advantage of that. I think the more useful skill here, for my gameplay anyway, is usually going to be the 15% extra boost recovered hit points. I think that is a stupendous amount of extra health on a ship like a destroyer, and could make the difference between winning and losing. So I'm definitely going to add that on there. I'll briefly just go over the other skills here, what I think would be best on a destroyer. I'm not going to unlock them here, but exploit weakness, definitely 1% extra damage for fire and flood. I think that's the best one for destroyers here. Again, it's going to depend on the destroyer, but for Japanese destroyers, I think the first one there is the exploit weakness is the best move there. I always tend to prefer equipment and skills that will work for you in almost every battle. Skills and equipment that work only under certain conditions, I don't tend to prefer those quite as much. For level 7, let's move over to level 7 here. Level 7, I think fully prepared is probably going to be the best one there to, again, get the cool down time on repair kits done sooner. Precise aiming, that's great for probably US battleships, German cruisers and battleships, that sort of thing, but not Japanese destroyers. And of course, dogfight specialist would be a carrier upgrade, so not really any question there as to whether or not that should go onto a destroyer commander. I do find carrier skills are a little bit lacking in here, but I'm not too concerned about that for now. So moving on to 8, Extinguisher, Mistweaver for US destroyers. That's going to be huge to get that smoke screen. Same thing with British cruisers. So definitely Mistweaver for those ships. Anything with a smoke screen is going to be just awesome, because it makes your skill last longer, increases the radius. So fantastic. Adrenaline Rush. This is pretty awesome as well. But only, again, if you're heavily damaged. I don't like getting heavily damaged on a ship. It's nice to have that there, but I do think that perhaps the Extinguisher is the better choice here for the destroyer. I'm not fully decided yet. Engine overload. This is awesome for Japanese destroyers. This will be one of the key ones, in my opinion, to have on a Japanese destroyer, just because they're built for speed to begin with. The secondary shells, so there are no secondary batteries on a destroyer, on the Japanese destroyers anyway, and definitely not relevant. And then the demolition expert, although that would be handy for any destroyer, and certainly handy for battleships and cruisers more so. But definitely hands down, I think that the engine acceleration booster, that is by far, I cannot wait to get that one. It's going to be awesome. Moving on to the 10 level compartment. This is huge for battleships. The reloader, again, battleships, cruisers are going to love that one. The this one's a tougher choice as to whether or not this one will actually be. If you have the gearing, a gun heavy, or the Russian destroyers, that might be a good choice. But Honor Seeker, this could ramp up very nicely for Japanese destroyers. I'm probably going to go with this one, and on my U.S. destroyers and Russian destroyers, go with the previous one. But definitely, I think Honor Seeker is what I'm going to put on when I get to level 10. And I think it's good to mention at this point too that these are all subjective choices. These are my choices for the way I play my ships. There's no right or wrong answers here. And although it is expensive to kind of make changes, there's going to be a learning curve here to what you like on your ship. So again, another carrier-based one, so that's not going to go on my destroyer, of course. This one here is a possibility since I use high explosive a lot when going up against battleships and cruisers with the destroyer when I don't have my torpedoes reloaded, so that's a possibility here. Certainly on a cruiser like the Grass, that's going to be huge. The AP penetration boost is going to be huge on British cruisers since they only have AP. So again, it's specialized to the ship, the class, and the nationality. So definitely you have to make smart choices here. So I'm going to go on this level with the high explosive penetration increase, just because of the fact that high explosive is going to be used far more often from a Japanese destroyer. So horizontal protection expert, that's definitely a battleship thing if I've ever seen one, although all ships would benefit from it. But this one here, this is the holy grail, the increase in damage to carriers, battleships, and cruisers from your torpedoes. That's pretty awesome. Again, another battleship and cruiser skill with the Citadel Strike. So I do find carriers a little bit underrepresented here in these skills. It'd be nice to see another couple levels here representing carriers a little bit more maybe. But certainly I do like the offerings so far from this system. I like the layout of the system. So far I like the way it the currencies involved with it, I think, are reasonable. It reminds me a lot of the Tank Commander system on World of Tanks console, so no complaints whatsoever. Other than, I think that if you're paying for a commander, you should get to choose a nationality, and you should not have a random duplication which is going to give you extra experience. You should get to actually choose one of the available commanders for an open slot that you have. Like, just be able to choose what you want for your. Moving on this screen here, you can see the commanders on your various ships, and I'll go over this for you very, very soon, what you should put on your various ships in that. You can actually toggle over and you can assign your commanders to other ships this way, and you can check out their skills. So this is a useful screen. I think it's actually well laid out, and this is going to be great to deselect or deassign a commander from a ship. What you're going to do is you're going to select the commander, and then you're going to hit assign or disembark when you've got the commander selected for the ship. And when you disembark a commander, you're not going to get any penalty when you bring them back onto the same ship or onto a premium ship. There's no penalties whatsoever. Moving them onto a new tech tree ship, there would be a penalty that would have to be paid in terms of experience before the full skill set is unlocked. So I'm just going to assign him to the Kamikaze again, and we're going to move on to some other topics. If you click in the barracks, you can see the unassigned commanders, so that's useful to know as well. You do want to check in there just in case you're unlocking commanders and you don't know where they are. They'll be in the barracks. There's also a great tab here under the commander section that shows you all the various theories and concepts regarding this part of the game, which, because it's new, because there's a high degree of customization, it's worth looking at these and kind of getting an idea of the way it works in that. But definitely you can see the specialization down below as it's pointing out, and then you can see if the commander is temporarily on a premium ship, but he's assigned to the ship down in green on the bottom there. So that's an important one, because you don't want to accidentally move a commander onto a ship that he's not assigned to, because then you're going to have to pay that penalty, and putting him back to another ship where he's still not, you're going to lose out some of the functionality of your commander. Now I just want to quickly go over how to assign a commander who's on one of your tech tree ships over to a premium ship for training, because this will really help you train up a commander faster by moving them onto premium ships where there is no penalty, then back onto the tech tree ship where they're assigned to. So what you do is select the premium ship that you want your commander to be assigned to, and go into the other ships and find and assign. Simple as that. Done. Now that commander is assigned to here, you can play this ship for its daily bonus, or maybe you just want to seal club a bit, whatever. You get a whole bunch of experience, and then you can see here that this commander belongs to the Takao, so you can move him back after you're done using him on the Yubari with no penalties. So if you're running premium ships of a certain nation, this is a new functionality and a new reason to have your premium ships. They are trainers for your commanders. So having fewer commanders, if you had, let's say you had a commander for the Yubari, well, if you're moving one of your tech tree commanders over to train him up, you're not really using that commander on the Yubari. So don't waste your money buying a whole bunch of commanders. Just have the bare minimum of commanders for the number of class of ships from a nation that you have. This way you can not only save some money, but you can specialize them much more quickly. Once you specialize the commander fully, feel free to get more. Like, for instance, here I've got 3 German commanders, 1 in each of my German premiums here, and eventually they'll all rest and live on those 3 ships. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unassign the commanders from 2 of the ships and just run 1, and I'm going to move that commander to each of the 3 ships for the daily bonuses, and just whenever I play one of my 3 German premiums, there'll be the same commander on it. I want to upgrade him fully as quickly as possible. Once he's upgraded, I'm going to stick him in the barracks and put another commander on and upgrade that commander fully, doing the same method. This way, when I buy the next tech tree ship, I'll already have a commander who's well on the way being trained for specialization in that class, because I'll definitely adjust each commander for one for destroyers, one for battleships, one for cruisers. And once I get the German destroyers at some point when they're added to the game, I'll have a commander rather, ready for that class of ship. So this way I can train up one individual commander right away for the battleships, because I have 2 of the battleships, and he'll still be useful on my cruiser, and then the next one will be trained for the cruiser, etc., etc. This way I can train up quickly and with a lot less hassle, and just by simply limiting the number of commanders I'm going to use at one time, I can train a commander for that nation more quickly. I don't know if I am going to follow a pattern where I train them up to a certain level, then switch commanders. I haven't decided on that. It depends on how long it takes to go from 1 through till about 8. If it takes a long time, what I might do is leave off that commander, train up the next one 1 through 8, and get them all to 8. That way they're fully useful for when the German battleship line gets introduced, etc., etc., or German destroyers at some point. So they'll be kind of ready to go. But it all depends on how difficult it is in terms of the XP requirements at the higher levels of skill set. So we'll see. That's and again, one of those things that this is a learning curve for everybody here. It's a new concept. We haven't had a lot of the nuts and bolts, but this is the approach that I'm taking for now. And I'll definitely write in the comments if I discover anything that works better. So do check back on this video and check the comments and see if there's anything new I've discovered. I'm going to put them right in the comments for this video, so keep that in mind. The last thing I want to go over here is earning experience. So you can see here my commander earned 1,679 experience this battle, and you can see here it's basically the same as the regular experience earned on the ship from the battle. So it's identical, 639, 639, including the first victory bonus, the fleet bonus, camouflage bonus, premium account bonus, all that mirrored perfectly in the commander experience to the regular experience earned. And free experience did not factor in at all. I immediately ran another battle right afterwards, and this time with the experience boosters in place. You can see there I have a booster on the standard experience right there for 346, but if you look down here, when I go back down to the commander experience, you'll see that that 346 booster bonus is not there. So boosters do not help you out at all with commander experience. Maybe that'll change in the future. Again, it's a new system, but for right now, don't add boosters trying to boost your commander experience. It's not going to happen. And the very last tip I'm going to leave you is a new feature is the ability to reset your daily bonus on a ship by watching an advertising video. You can do this 3 times in one day. And this is also great for upgrading commanders. You've played a ship, you've earned your 100% bonus on it for the day. You go, okay, well, I want to upgrade this commander. So now you can go and watch an advertising video, which resets the daily bonus on that particular ship and allowing you to earn more experience for that commander sooner. So this is actually a pretty decent feature, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to leave you there for now. Remember, don't use bonuses. They don't do anything for commander experience. Use them if you want to upgrade the ship faster, but definitely don't use it because you're trying to upgrade your commander faster. So this video is done. As a closing note, just a reminder, I will add into the notes for this video any new things we find out about the commander system, so do check back, and thanks for watching.